Y'all know they out here waiting for us to pick up the baton and run with it, right? You know they waiting out here for us to go out and start picketing and start protesting. And baby, black women are like, baby, get somebody else to do it. Welcome to my channel. My name is Danielle Price. I am a self-love and mindfulness coach, and I help black women reclaim their peace and personal power through mindfulness and emotional mastery. Y'all, I don't really have anything planned for this video, but we're going to talk. Okay, we're going to talk. Because it is March 23rd, I believe. Yep, March 24th. And we are officially almost just about 3 months into you know who's, you knows what. And the you know who's or you know what'n't. Like we didn't tell them that this was going to happen. And they waiting on us. They're like, where y'all at? What y'all doing? What y'all got going on? Baby, we did what we were supposed to do. Where y'all at? Where are y'all at? Where were y'all at on the day which we will not speak of? Where were y'all at? Y'all, it has been so much going on. I feel like y'all know every single day there has been something announced, something signed, something dropped. And you know what? You know what I tell my mom every time she brings it up to me? I be like, oh, okay. I don't have the capacity to even think about it, right? I don't even have the capacity to hear the information. And you want to know why? Because there's not a damn thing that I can do about it. It doesn't mean I don't care. It doesn't mean that I'm not concerned. But I am focusing on what's in my purview. I am focusing on what I can control within myself and what I can do to help us make the most of these next couple of years. I had a Facebook friend who posted, you know, people are asking where we at? Where are black women? Where are black women? She said, we're learning from each other. We are taking care of our communities. We are taking care of our homes. We are resting. We are practicing group economics. And that's what I want to talk about today is what we really need to be focusing on in these next couple of years. Because a lot of things are going to shift and change. And if you were on my previous TikTok page, which I don't have anymore, I wish I had never gotten rid of it, but whatever. I talked about how things were going to start moving very quickly. And I mean, this was 2021, 2022 that I was saying this. And I talked about needing to learn how to garden and making more money and not just relying on your own job and, you know, how we were going to have to move back to being, you know, like moving like tribes. And I'm seeing why God was giving me that vision, right? And so I kind of want to share with you all what I think is important for us to begin to focus on as a people so that we can make the most out of what's going on. So one thing that I pride myself on is forward thinking, right? And realizing that this is a day and age where we really do need to learn how to cope, right? And so I talk a lot about mindfulness. If you go back and look, I talk about how to reduce stress and anxiety, but this video is going to be a little bit different, right? I want to talk about how in this day and age, us learning new emotional and mental resiliency skills that we may have lacked in the past is what's going to propel us forward, right? And a lot of this is going to be intuitively led, so please just stay with me because there's a message that needs to get out. So the first thing that comes to mind is like your wealth, your economics, your tangible resources, right? And a lot of people say hoard, hoard, hoard. And I want you to find a balance between hoarding and investing and spending. Be mindful of what you invest in at this time, especially as a black woman, because there's a lot more that's coming down the pipeline when it comes to our children. And I'm going to get to that soon, okay? So when we're talking about our wealth, it's not, we realize now that we can't rely on these jobs, okay? They're cutting things left and right, and Whether we want to believe it or not, even if our job really cares about us, at the end of the day, they answer to somebody. The military taught me we all answer to somebody, right? And so during this time, it's going to be important for you to begin to invest money into your mental and emotional well-being. That may look like coaching, that may look like therapy, that may look like going to a wellness retreat. Like, you're going to have to invest in something at this time, because the stress that you're going to feel, the anxiety that you're going to feel, the up and down, the heaviness of the energy. A lot of you are intuitive too, so the heaviness of the energy, you're going to need new skills to deal with this. Okay, because the way that our grandparents dealt with the civil rights movement and the way that they dealt with integration and stuff like that, we're not going to be able to use what they gave us, right? Because we have resources now, okay? And we're gonna have to start using them, or we're gonna have to start using them from the people that look like us, because that's how we're gonna practice group economics. The next thing is your commerce, right? Your intangible things that you can use to make money, right? So these are things like your soft skills, or creating a side hustle that gets you more income. Because these jobs are temporary. Okay? These jobs are temporary. And the way that things are going, you want to be in control of your time. You want to be able to set your own price. And you're gonna want to be able to have something to offer that is a solution to somebody's problem. I may do a different video on how to turn your skills into profit, but start thinking about what you're good at. Are you a good speaker? Are you a good mentor? Are you really good at crafting? What is it that you are good at that heals somebody else? Because sometimes we think about solving a problem as like, okay, I fixed it for you. But I think the way that we're going to start going is that our innate abilities that cannot be taken from us by the first letter of the alphabet and whatever the other letter of the alphabet is, y'all, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. That innate thing and the way that you do it best is what is going to heal somebody else. And I don't want to get into, different types of currency, you know what I'm saying? But in order for us to truly create group economics, we have to begin to dig within ourselves and see what we can package and sell so that we can earn more money and pass it around our community, okay? I don't want to say too much here on YouTube because that's just where we're at. Okay, so we talked about tangible resources. We talked about wealth. Now we're going to talk about our children, okay? Yes, we're going to talk about our children. That's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to go with the flow. Thank y'all for sticking with me. We know that some things are being gutted, right? And most of us live a life that relies on these public institutions to take care of our children. And for a while, I have felt like it was time for many of us to take back ownership of our children and their education. It's difficult for us to do that because many of us, one, don't have the capacity or the education to do so, and we just don't have the time, right? But it's going to be time for us to take back ownership of our children. Now, I have felt like homeschooling, unschooling, anything other than traditional public school and private school education was going to be major. And if you've been following me for a little while, especially on Instagram, you know that I used to homeschool my daughter. And when I tell you that my relationship with my daughter is so much better because I homeschooled her, I got a chance to know her triggers, what her learning style is, how she communicates, how she advocates. I got to instill our values and our morals, our standards of excellence into her and establish a real rapport with her so that she realizes, oh, my mommy's an advocate for me. My mommy is a partner with me. And although she's an authority figure, she is the deciding factor on things. My mommy is an advocate for me, right? My mom is not the enemy. And I learned that she's not my enemy either, right? We're in this life together, and God entrusted us with these children. And so I'm saying all this to say that when we give our children over to these public institutions, we are trusting them to teach them the right way. But with the way that things are going right now, it feels very out of control. It feels very up and down. We don't know what's coming next, right? And so I really feel like over the next couple of years, it's going to be very important for us to build lives where we can take our children with us, where we have the capacity and the resources. And it doesn't take a lot, y'all. You think it would, but maybe I'll do a video on that one day. I don't know. We're going to see. I got my comfort blanket here. We're definitely moving in a day and age where we need to take back ownership of our children. Because like I said, with the way that the world is going, we're going to have a lot less control. And if we want to stifle the school to prison pipeline, it's going to take us taking our kids out of the machine and taking back ownership of their future. Okay? And so, again, homeschooling looks different for everybody. Okay? Homeschooling looks different for everybody. I'm going to release my ebook pretty soon on homeschooling your children and what it looks like and how to get started, because I feel like it feels very out of reach for some people. But it really starts with building a life to be able to do so. Okay? And there are so many community resources that are out here. You just don't know that they exist because that's not your reality, right? And I may hear some of you say, oh, that's impossible for me, and I don't have a college education, and all these excuses, baby. If you work with me, if you decide that you want to work with me and you're ready to create that life and you're ready to get rid of those excuses, I assure you, you can do it. It may take you some time, but it won't take as long as you think, as long as you're dedicated to doing it. And that's not for everybody, but that's for a lot of people. And then the last thing that I'm going to say is focusing on our family and our community. Now, I am not an advocate for holding on to toxic family members. I actually feel like toxic family members are karmic partners who are here to teach us lessons. They're not here to always be here long term. And like I said, that's not for everybody, but that is for a lot of people. So when I talk about our family and our community, I'm talking about our support system, and how I mentioned in the beginning how we're going to have to start really getting back to being able to depend on each other and tribes, right? That's what's going to make being able to go out and have untraditional forms of income and untraditional opportunities of education for our children is really having a strong support system. And that doesn't mean just your immediate family that lives in your house or your mom or your daddy. No, I mean like people who are like you. And some of them may look like you, some of them may not, but you need like-minded people who have the same goal and vision for their life that you have for your life. Again, that starts with you having the vision, right? And building that life so that you know exactly who you need, right? And again, I don't want to make it seem like something wrong is coming down. It's just there's a reshaping, there's a restructuring. And if you can't live under a rock right now. I'm not telling us to stress out about it. All I'm saying is that we should be thinking ahead of the game. I was talking to my mom about how billionaires oftentimes are billionaires because they think 10, 20 years ahead. And their marketing campaigns and their technological advances and their next moves are based on what's going to be happening in the next 10 to 20 years. And maybe one day I'll do a video on the progression of things so that you guys can kind of see the psychology behind it. Sorry, I feel like I'm being a whole geek and nerd right now, but I love it. The world is leaving clues for us. And it's up to us to pick up what it's putting down. And if we do not properly prepare, we will be destitute. We will be left out to dry. We will be left behind. And I pray that this video gets your juices flowing on how to utilize these next 4 years, because these next 4 years are just the warm up. It's just the warm up. And some people think, we can write and stuff like that. I don't think that's for us, baby. That's not for us. We've been writing. We've been advocating. We've been talking. We've been educating. We've been enlightening. And they ain't listening. So now it's their turn. They've been focusing on their whole little family and their own little this. Let them go focus on the big picture. Let's focus on ourselves. Let's focus on how we can go buy back the block and create luxury affordable housing for single mothers or for families to be able to stay together. Let's go back and see how we can turn that old community center into a new resource center for the community. Let's talk about how these teachers that are not being paid anything can start businesses to start families and help them start homeschooling. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Again, I love us. I'm going to say it just about every video. I love us. And I really feel like we are shifting. And it's not a good or a bad thing. It's a what you going to do with it. What you going to do with it. The ball's in our court to do something with it. And we can rage against the machine and try to beat on the machine and try to get it to change, or we can use the machine to change our lives for the better. And some of us are meant to do both. Some of us are only meant to do the latter. Some of us are only meant to do the former. That's up to you, baby. As for me and mine, we're going to be preparing for 20 years down the line. I love y'all. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and join the tribe. You know you want to. I might start, if y'all want me to, I might start a community outside of here to really be able to talk freely about what's going on and how we can really, like I said, utilize our time wisely as a people, because this ain't for everybody. It's time for us to get back to gatekeeping again. So anyways, like I said, I love y'all. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Join the tribe. Make sure you turn on that notification bell so that you can always be notified every time that I have a video going up. Make sure you all check out my links to all of my resources. I love y'all. Make sure that y'all are taking care of yourselves, and have a great day.
All in my phone, I got options, and I don't wanna tell you to drop it, but I don't wanna play.